Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's the other guy back here again with another one. Niggas is haters, bro. Niggas is haters. Story time, man. See, last Wednesday, I was getting off of work, right? And some guy was shouting my name. You feel me? I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? What's up? I ain't know him. But he was like, yo, bro, my girl, one of my friends, bro, like, she like you, bro, but she afraid to talk to you. You feel me? And we chopped it up for a little bit, man. We laughed. It was like, man, you know how girls are, bro. You know, she gonna be shy and shit. You see her in the background laughing, like walking away and shit like that. She hiding her face and all that. You feel me? But he was like, yeah, man, just when you get a chance, bro, chop it up to her. You know what I'm saying? Tell her, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, cool. You feel me? But I'm gonna let you know this now, though. Like, I got a girlfriend. You know, I'm kicking it, I'm chilling. You feel me? I ain't on that type of time, right? And he was like, oh, okay, I understand. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna tell her though. I want her to hear it from me, right? Which is very important to this video, right? So this following today, right, Sunday, coming back, you know, I'm back on schedule. And just like I said, I was gonna come up and tell her, you feel me? Right? So I saw her in the break room, you feel me? And he was there also. And I sat down and approached her, you feel me? I introduced myself, I got her name, right? And, you know, obviously she was laughing, she was turning her head, blushing and stuff like that. She had to kind of collect herself, you feel me? And it was funny at first. And, you know, I formally introduced myself and stuff like that. And, she went ahead and told me, she was like, oh man, I heard a lot of stuff about you, this and that. And I was like, oh, so what you hear? What you hear? And she was like, I'm not gonna say who. I said, you don't gotta say who. I'm not into the gossiping. You feel me? I said, just go ahead and, you feel me, tell me what was said though. And she was like, oh, I heard you had a baby on the way. I said, oh really? So I said, okay, I'm gonna make this clear now, right? What you hear from me, you feel me, is what you should take. And I said, I have a girl and I do have a child on the way. You feel me? And I came over here to let you know that I had a child on the way because I want you to hear it from my mouth. You feel me? And she was like, I respect that. You feel me? That's real. So I was like, yeah, anyways though, like, you know, I'll see you around, you feel me? Like, don't be strange, you know, it is what it is. She was like, okay, I got you. I look across from the table, you feel me? And she was like, yeah, it wasn't him, he didn't tell me. So I pound him up and I said, respect, because he didn't tell her that I had a girlfriend. He waited for me to say it, because I told him not to tell her. He did that. But like I said, this video is about dudes in particular, because outside of my party that I hang with, I told two dudes, right, that I had a kid on the way and they were fathers. You feel me? But I told them with the intent, because I knew they was going to tell everybody. I knew they was going to tell everybody. I wanted to see if they did. And the suspicion is true. They told everybody, right? And I got to think to the back of my head, what kind of weirdo shit is that? And in what circumstance would you tell another woman that I have a baby on the way? See, it's one thing to say, oh, he got a girl. You feel me? But it's still weird to me, because if that's the case scenario, right, she had to come to you to talk about me, or had an interest in me in general. And just like what I said, the keynote of this video is, why not find that out from me, right? Why are you telling them that? It's not your business to say. So I already know who went ahead and told. I already know it, because like I said, I planted the seed, you feel me, to see, okay, just in case if word gets out. And I knew immediately how fast word got out too, because I remember when I came to work, I think it was the following week or the 2 weeks after I told them, right? Keep in mind, this was probably about a month and a half ago. the women that were at work, that were normally, like all bubbly and all that kind of stuff, right? I came and I said, hey, I waved, and that bubbly energy went away faster than a motherfucker. They was dry, they was frank, you feel me? And like I said, I don't got no problem with that. But that's when I picked up that word had got around. See, now I know for a fact, because you got a woman here that I've never spoken to a day in my life, right? Coming to tell me, right, about my life. You get what I'm saying? So I'm glad she saw that was real, because what guys don't understand, right, especially out of guys that operate from scarcity, what they don't understand is that you only hurting yourself. Because I don't know what kind of conversation y'all might be having that led you to the point of telling another woman that I don't know that I'm having a kid, but it's probably one that wasn't going in your favor. Well, guess what? It's not going to be working in your favor anymore. It's not at all. Because what you think is oh yeah, man, this would put him under. You feel me? All the girls that he's taking, or you feel me, girls that like him, they ain't finna like him no more when they find out he have a child. That's how I know you operate from scarcity, because you trying to save your own ass. You trying to keep woman for yourself, right? Woman that I don't want. You feel me? But this is how I know you don't know shit for real, because let me tell y'all something, guys, real quick, right? I know I opened up this video and I said men are haters, and trust me, that still stands. But I want to teach guys a lesson real quick. Men, when a woman finds out that you have a kid on the way, guys, that shit turns her on. It does not turn her off. See, listen, what might be off-putting by the news is a double whammy. It's the fact that you're dealing with somebody, and the fact that, yeah, you have a kid on the way, and having a child on the way means, okay, you might have a baby mama, you might have a wife, meaning, oh, okay, if I need to avoid drama at all costs, this can't be the guy, right? So I want to stay out of trouble, so let's stay clear of him. See, that's secondary to what I consider as primary. Do you know why it attracts them? Do you know why married men, you feel me, are the ones that get more women? Because of pre-selection. This is primary. They see a man that they are attracted to, and his bodily functions is working. That's primary to every fucking thing that I said previous to what you feel me? They see a working man, a man that could spread his seed, and that they are attracted to. Do you know how women think about men like that? Women think, shit, the more the better. We need more men like you. That's their mindset. See, men think, oh, okay, I'm going to put him under, or I'm going to set him up by saying, oh, he's going to have a baby on the way. Women don't give a fuck about that shit. They don't. All they care about is to the potential guy, to the potential bidder, the right one, being lined up and looking at their life and say, this is how my life could have been like. And I want me a piece of that as well. Now, I'm not incentivizing that that's something that I'm going to take a part of. I'm not. You feel me? I'm going to stay clear of that. Which brings me to why I kept the honesty, right? I kept it real, right? Which is another thing that I want guys to take a lesson from. Don't hide your shit. If you made your bed, own that shit. You feel me? Which is also more attractive, because you already know, she came at me and was like, oh, I heard you having a kid. Which means that that approach is normally something that should shake up a couple guys that's maybe being dishonest about their lifestyle, or maybe trying to have a side thing, right? A thing on the side, a little fling on the side, or whatever the case is. And it's a gotcha, bitch. You feel me? But that wasn't the case with me. See, she came at me with that, and I made it something to be proud of. You catch my drift? See, what women get from that now is what I call the fairy tale. You know, the guy that's, they find attractive, right? But also at the same time, that keeps it real. Yeah, you make yourself far more attractive owning the shit and telling the truth. I said it in previous videos. If a woman asks if you have a girlfriend and you do, just go ahead and tell her, yeah, you do, right then and there. Because she might be mad in that moment. She might be dry and frank with you, right, for a couple days, maybe even weeks. But eventually, she comes right back around. She hits that soft reset button, right? Because you kind of grab her by the clit. You, in a sense, she knows, I can't stay mad at this dude. You feel me? I feel this type of way towards him. Or it doesn't even have to be a feel type of way. He's attractive and I want him in my company, right? That's how women think. Keep in mind, I don't want to go into this again where you like, man, I don't think you that attractive, bro. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. This is subjective to the woman that find me attractive, right? And vice versa. Either way, keeping it real and keeping it honest is the best thing you could do. Not only you're owning up to the shit and it's attractive, right? But you letting her know ain't no secrets. I'm keeping it a buck with you. You feel me? And women love that as well. So to men out there, if you think you're going to set a guy up by saying, oh, he finna have a kid or whatever the case is, or if you finna be set up, maybe you're in this circumstance where, oh, a woman out there putting out your business and you never told her, it was the guys out there that's ratting out. And she coming to you and she like, man, I heard you having a baby. Just do me a favor and own up to that shit. Just be like, yes, I am. I'm about to be a father. And I'm excited. You feel me? I'm looking forward to it. You feel me? Maybe tell her the gender that you want. You feel me? But either way, just keep it real and you'll be shocked. I also said this back then, man, and I'm finna go now, right? But women never really lose interest. They don't. They only get distracted. They only lose interest to you, truly, if you fuck it up. Maybe you lost frame. You feel me? Maybe you ain't the guy that, she expects you to or whatever to be or whatever the case is. Cool. But women only lose interest when you fuck up. If you haven't fucked up with that woman, she only gets distracted. Maybe she found somebody else to deal with for that time being. You feel me? Maybe she's playing with this or she's with this guy for the time being. She still has you in her sight. She still has you in her radar. You feel me? Waiting for her time, you feel me, to shine, to crack. You know when we was little, bro, and we was thinking with our dicks and shit, and we had a girl that was on the block, bro. You feel me? That was like the baddest thing, right? And we all tried to get at her and shit like that, and she didn't want nobody because she had a boyfriend that was in school, right? So all the neighborhood niggas didn't have no shot with her, right? You see how we kind of went about going out on business. We started dating girls when we was at school. All of a sudden now, you feel me? That was cool and all when we did that. But soon as we find out that that girl that's in our neighborhood, that's on our block, that she lost her boyfriend, right? Or they no longer dating anymore, or that she's newly single, what we say? Oh shit, we got dibs on that. Who next? You feel me? Niggas lined up right again. Women do the same exact shit. That's why I say women never lose interest. They only get distracted. You feel me? But either way though, this is a lesson for you guys though, right? I know I said I was about to go previously, but this is a lesson for you guys. Like, number one, bro, right? Obviously, don't tell nobody your business at work. You feel me? Don't tell nobody your business at work. Y'all already know this. I already knew this. I wanted people to find out. You feel me? And I wanted to see if I could trust these people or not, in which I know I can, right? Secondly, own up to it. You made a bed, own that shit. Own that motherfucker and tell the truth. You feel me? Tell the truth. Live an honest life. You feel me? You don't have to lie to a woman, right? You don't. In some cases, she'll lie to herself. You feel me? And thirdly, like I said before, at the end of the fucking day, you feel me? Women, they don't lose interest overall. They just get distracted. You feel me? Somebody else comes along, they're gonna deal with them. But as long as you ain't lose their attraction, they still got you on radar. Like, comment, subscribe. Be easy.